Hey guys, Crazy Dash here, and welcome back to another Train Sim World 3 stream. So, today I decided to do a little bit of a different stream. Well, technically it's just a Northeast Corridor stream, but we're going to be talking a lot today about the brand new announcement of the Acela Express. Oh my goodness, I am so excited that the Acela is finally coming to Train Sim World. I am completely stoked. I am without a doubt ready to see it get added to the game. Definitely going to be buying it day one, and I will definitely try to make sure to have a first look stream done on it, so yeah, super excited to see it. So, I figured that to celebrate, we'd play Northeast Corridor Boston to Providence. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. First, let me take a look to see who is in the chat with us tonight. We got, Alejandro Kirky's Papa, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Lake County Rails, and South Mainline Rail Fan. Welcome. Let's see, question from Lake County Rails. Is the Acela going to be a whole new route? No it is not. It's gonna be a Loco DLC for Boston Sprinter. But there is a new US route being added to the game soon, so we'll find out what that is sooner than later. But right now we know that the Acela is coming to the game. So yeah, I'm excited. So let's just get right into it. So let's start off by driving the good old ACS 64. And we will start with a service from Boston to Providence. We'll do this service. Operate Amtrak Northeast Regional 175 from Boston South Station to Providence. Hello, Caltrain 919 fan. Welcome to the stream. And yeah. Alright, let's do it. Now let's see, what conditions do I want to drive in? I say we just leave dynamic weather on. We'll leave it in December, and we'll have actually, let's do fog. I think that'd be an interesting run. So let's do that, shall we? Operate Amtrak Northeast Regional number 175 from Boston South Station to Providence, and we are 8 cars long, 548 tons, and 247 yards long. So, let's get into it. Alright, let's insert the reverser, set it to forward, let's unlock the doors. Okay, get the desk lights on. Don't need the cab light. Set the brake mode to passenger. Put the independent brake to full service, and we'll release the automatic brake. Set the front headlights to bright, and we'll set the ditch lights to on. Do not want them on flash. And I think we are all ready to go. I will not be driving with safety systems on because obviously the signaling is still bugged on this route, so we will be driving without it. Look at that thing of beauty. Love the ACS 64. Gorgeous train. Hello GTA Gamer 245. The Acela was obvious when they first revealed the code to crack because the Boston Sprinter is the only US AC electric route that is in T73 compatible. Yeah, that is. I mean, yeah, I knew it was the Acela, but regardless, I'm regardless. What am I saying? I'm excited regardless, because the Acela is one of my favorite electric trains of all time. So I mean, how can I not be excited? All right, let's get moving. Get some power going. I say we drive without the HUD on. And off we go. Speed limit is 10 miles per hour. Alright, let's retract the power. We shall let the train coast. Alright, we got a clear aspect, so we are all good to go. We have an MBTA train on our left, most likely coming off of the old, probably the old colony lines. Possibly the Fairmount line. I think trains go down that way to go on the Fairmount line. I could be wrong though. Get some lovely pictures. South Station is definitely a really nice place to take pictures. Lots of traffic going in and out of the station. And yeah, and look at that, we got another Northeast Regional waiting to get into Boston. Alright, so now I gotta be a bit careful with my speed since now we're gonna be going downhill. Alright, so there's a couple things I wanted to talk about in terms of the Acela. So now, this probably has been obvious to some people, but it looks like Northeast Corridor Boston to Providence is getting the Train Sim World 3 lighting, which is really nice to see. So yeah, I'm really excited to see that Dovetail's adding is at least, like, honestly, when it's honestly just really exciting to see this feature being implemented to the older routes, because I don't know, it just feel like it makes the all the other routes just feel outdated in a sense. So I'm glad that they're implementing this because it's gonna make all the routes feel like so they don't feel out of date basically. Now of course older routes still have like their problems and whatnot that still give them an outdated feel, but at least Dovetail's getting better with like implementing like changes that are seen in newer routes. So yeah. Alright, can proceed up to 15 relatively shortly. Judging from the image, I wonder if the new skies and lighting that DTG shown for Boston Sprinter are a free upgrade. Most likely. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's basically the equivalence of like when they were using the what was it, the London Midland skies. I think those were released, yeah, I think for the expansion pack, or for the first Train Sim World expansion pack, something like that. So wait, okay, I can't go up to 30. But no, I doubt they're gonna have us pay just to get new lighting like that. That'd be really stupid. But yeah, very likely not. But since they're adding the new lighting to Boston Sprinter, it does make me think that most likely that they're going to be doing some more fixes to the route. Since, of course, Boston to Providence is very well known for having lots of problems. From scenery issues to signaling issues. And probably also some issues with the timetable. So, hold on, we're pulling into Boston Back Bay now. Alright, let's get some dynamic brakes going, and we'll add some air brakes. But I'm curious to see what other improvements we're going to see on Boston Providence. But yeah, I'm really hoping we see signaling improvements, because this route has desperately needed these signaling improvements for a very long time now. Definitely scenery improvements, since Boston Sprinter definitely has some of the weaker scenery in Train Sim World. So I'm really hoping that Boston Sprinter gets at least they fix like floating and bug scenery. That's what I'm hoping the most. But if they were to go the extra mile, I also hope that like they try to make the scenery more accurate and kind of more up to Train Sim World 3 standards. Because there are definitely a lot of inaccuracies on this route. I'm obviously not going to go through them, but But yeah, hopefully we can see some scenery improvements, definitely improvements to the signaling, and also I feel like the timetable, like the timetable as a whole, should just get completely revamped because this is, of course, Boston Sprinter is like one of the main routes that still uses computer-generated times, which honestly really annoy me. So I honestly feel like Joe should just completely revamp the timetable for this route, give it more realistic times that are more reasonable, more achievable, not on like random seconds. And also just preventing like major congestion issues and things such as that. I feel like this timetable definitely could use an improvement. So I'm hoping that is also the case. Another MBTA train. Oh, we shall get going. Right, our next stop is Route 128. And let's get moving. Speed limit is 30 miles per hour. Let's get some power going. Now this is probably one of the more difficult parts to learn the route because you're obviously just in the tunnel and you have to figure out like when you need to speed up to get up to line speed. So from my experience, so as soon as we get the access notification to go up to 60, which should be right now, I now count one, or count like the number of continuity posts in the tunnel. So we've just passed 1. There's 2. Now, on the 3rd one, we will begin to accelerate. Alright, we shall now accelerate, and we should be clear to go up to 60 miles per hour, and then we will be cleared to proceed up to 120 miles per hour. Let's see. It would also make sense to add the new lighting to the TSW2 core routes like Bakerloo and Cologne to Aachen, and the other rush hour routes such as Riesa to Dresden. Right, totally agree with you on that, 100%. They should definitely do it for them, definitely towards the more popular routes in the game. So definitely the Train Sim World 2 core routes, I definitely agree on that. Definitely the 2 other rush hour routes. And then probably just try some of the more popular routes in Train Sim World, such as like East Coast Way, Munich Augsburg. What else? What are some other popular routes? I cannot think of any from the top of my head. I guess Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr, I'd say. Trying to think. Oh, Great Western Express, definitely Great Western Express. Peninsula Corridor. Alright, we're at 80 miles per hour. We're cleared to go up to 120. Now, one thing to mention. So, currently on this version of the Northeast Corridor, Dovetail is making the ACS 64 run at the speed limits that the Acela has to abide to. However, probably most likely once the Acela gets added to the game, it's very likely that the Acela, or not the Acela, the ACS 64 will have to be running at slower speeds because it is not a tilting train. So most likely, it's probably not going to be like a major speed difference. From my understanding is that the ACS would probably be going like maybe 10 miles per hour slower than like the speed limit. So like right now the speed limit is 120 miles per hour. So very likely we'll see the speed limit just get reduced to like 110 for the sprinters. So it's not going to be significant, and we're definitely going to be able to go 125 miles per hour in certain parts of the route still, such as like the part where the Acela can go 150. But we'll just have to wait and see. Because I do have a friend who literally knows this route from heart, so he very likely knows. So I'll have to ask him. Passing Forest Hills. I'm going to pull back the power since we've now reached line speed. Uh-oh, we are speeding. Let's retract the power. let's pull like the power completely so we can get down to 120 because we are still speeding. Now, I have seen some people speculating that, now I find this very unlikely, that supposedly with the Acela that, like, the new US route is just basically a remastered version of this route. Now, I'm not saying that, now, hopefully that doesn't happen, because I personally wouldn't want to see that myself. Mostly because there's not a lot of ways you can extend this route. Now, there most certainly are ways to extend this route, but I feel like it's not as worth like extending Southeastern high speed. And also I feel like there's just other routes that need extensions much more than yeah. And I feel like Dovetail shouldn't like label a remaster like that as a new route. So most likely it's not. I'm still thinking it's gonna be something like a route out of New York, such as New Jersey Transit, since they do have the license, or possibly another section of the Northeast Corridor. But, I mean, if this route ever was to get some sort of remaster... Whoa, audio switching a bit. Alright, I'm gonna stop talking for just a moment, because we are now approaching Route 128. So I'm gonna retract the power. We're gonna start braking about where those CSX GP38s are. We're gonna put the dynamic brakes into about 90% and put our our air brakes into suppression. Possible I might have braked a little too late, but we should be okay. As long as I brake about where those GP38s were, should be just fine. Now down to about 50. Yeah, we're looking good on speed. Alright, I'm gonna retract or pull back on the brakes a little bit. Also gonna reduce on the dynamic brakes. We're gonna just slowly bring it into a stop. Okay, we want to stop about at the E marker. Alright, give me some dynamics again. And we're overshooting. Now in Train Sim World, I believe the stop marker is inaccurate. I don't believe it's supposed to be this far up at the end of the platform. I believe in real life, I was supposed to stop where that E was on the station roof. Yeah, I'll have to ask one of my friends, because I do have someone who's local to this route and basically knows basically everything about this route. It looks like the fog's starting to clear, because now I'm starting to be able to see the sky and stuff. Oh, look at that sunlight. Yep, the fog has disappeared. After this, I honestly I did have an interesting idea to do for this stream, which I'll mention at the end of this run. So you'll have to wait and see on that. Yeah, I believe you're supposed to stop at these E markers in real life. And I think like Dovetail's never been the best when it comes to stop markers. So I don't But yeah, I don't believe that's accurate. Alright, let's shut the doors. And our next and final stop for this road, Providence. Let's actually listen to the train from the... Let's listen to the train from the exterior, because I love the traction motors on this thing. Such an awesome sounding train. Let me just get some power going. God, I love the sounds on this thing. Dovetail did an outstanding job on the sounds for the Acela 64. They sound so realistic. Now, I wouldn't say they're perfect by any means, but they are definitely really well done. Something that contains New Jersey Transit, MARC, or SEPTA could be likely for the new U.S. route. There is also a commuter rail network in Denver that also uses AC traction. The sounds for this version of the AC64 are better than the NEC New York version. That is most definitely true. Yeah, Dovetail is definitely really improved with, like, I feel like just the sounds of most trains. They definitely feel a lot more lifelike. Even if they're not 100% perfect, they still sound very, they still sound very lifelike. I feel like in lots of the older Train Sim World routes, I feel like a lot of, like, especially like on like rapid transit and stuff, just driving in a train just doesn't sound realistic. Mostly because there's like no rolling sounds and things such as that. So I feel like the rush hour routes as a whole was a great like first step towards improving that. Alright, I'm gonna fly ahead and watch our train fly by at Canton Junction. But yeah, now to answer your previous question, GTA or comment GTA gamer, very likely we're gonna see something on. Very likely we'll see something on the Northeast Corridor. I hardly doubt it's gonna be RTD, like you said, because I just don't think Dovetail has the license for that. It is possible. I wouldn't mind seeing it. But I honestly just don't see it happening. I would also probably say the same for, like, commuter rail operators such as SEPTA and MARC, just because Dovetail also does not have licenses for them. Right, here comes our train. Ah, shoot. No, did not mean to do that. Lovely. Speed limit is 125. But yeah, I personally, like, now, I would really like to see the part of the Northeast Corridor from DC to Baltimore. But I feel like if they worded it, oh, hold on, give me 1 second, gotta cut the power. We're gonna close the main circuit breaker because we just went through a dead section. Wait just a moment, and we can re-enable the power. So that's something that was not taught in the tutorials. It technically doesn't affect the gameplay in any way, at least in the simulator, but in real life, I believe your train would completely lose power if you don't... I actually don't know what happens if you don't disable the pantograph during a dead section. I'm actually not too sure on that one. Okay, we are now approaching Sharon. Yeah, I would like to see DC to Baltimore in Train Sim World, but I feel like if they were to do it, they need to add MARC with it. Because I feel like MARC would honestly be really interesting in Train Sim World, and I feel like that's something Dovetail would just be very appealed to do. Because Dovetail's really all about like different gameplay experiences, especially with like the trains. Like you can definitely see that with routes like Bremen to Oldenburg. Like Mark honestly just screams like something Dovetail would want to do. Because you got the MP36 running on the route, which Dovetail have already made, so they can reuse it and just give it some sound upgrades and some minor modifications to it. And then they were also able to add the lovely HHP8s for some electric traction. Maybe Dovetail could also make the Amtrak version with it. And they could also make the SC44 Charger and finally introduce it to the game, because sooner than later Dovetail needs to make the SC44. It's definitely becoming like the staple, just the staple of American rail as a whole. So sooner than later, I can definitely see Dovetail making the SC44 for Train Sim World. But yeah, I just feel like that'd be something Dovetail would be completely crazy to do. Or that'd be something they'd absolutely love to do. Because yeah, you'd have an old diesel like the MP36, a modern diesel like the SC44, and then you got a vintage electric train like the HHP8. Like, that just seems amazing. But of course, like I said before, licensing is the main issue, because Dovetail clearly has had licensing issues with Mark, since it is unbranded in the Train Simulator version. Now, hopefully, but I feel like without Mark, I just feel like the route wouldn't be as interesting. I feel like it would just be very similar to this route in a sense. Just going 125 miles an hour with a couple stops along the route, and that's basically it. So I feel like if Mark is added to the route, I feel like it would just be too similar to this if they did not add Mark to it. Hello, Noah Hunt. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, now and then again, like SEPTA is also very unlikely, because I believe they also have licensing issues with Dovetail, although I could be completely wrong, because simply SEPTA has just never been made for Train Sim World. Now, some people may say, well, they could have just added SEPTA to Northeast Corridor, New York to Philadelphia in Train Simulator, but they didn't even add New Jersey Transit on that, so I feel like that's a no for that. If they did add New Jersey Transit to that route but didn't add SEPTA, then yeah, then they clearly don't have a SEPTA license. But who knows? It's possible they do. I totally wouldn't mind seeing a SEPTA route, because there are some pretty interesting SEPTA routes out there. Probably the most interesting one, I'd say. I forgot the name of it. It's whatever SEPTA line runs along the Keystone Corridor. That would be a really cool one. Be able to have the entire SEPTA line and maybe extended past of the Keystone Corridor. That would be a really cool addition, and it would be a great way to reintroduce the X-Metro Liner cab car to the game. And then now another possible one could also be, or another possibility is the Metro Electric District, but I again also don't think that's what it's gonna be. Again, because of licensing issues, because we obviously saw the Metro Racetrack in Train Simulator, and all the Metro trains were unbranded. Now, I kind of feel like it's kind of more likely now, because I think BNSF has some. I could be completely wrong on this, but I think BNSF has some ownership of Metro, but I don't think they own it completely, because I think Metro is predominantly operated by I think it's the Regional Transportation District, or no, the Regional Transportation Authority. That's what it is. So I do not think Dovetail has a license for that. So very likely they do not have a Metro license. Now, would I want to see the Metro Electric District? Honestly, no. I wouldn't say it's that interesting. It's basically just like a slower S-Bahn with electric gallery cars. So personally, I would say no to that. And then there's also the South Shore Line, which runs partially on the Metro Electric District, but then it runs into Indiana. I would definitely be more in to see that, but I feel like it also wouldn't be that good of an addition, because it's a very long route, and two, it's kind of on the slow side, but it's definitely faster than the electric district. And Dovetail would most certainly do it in the time period where the line was street running, because like, come on, that'd be super awesome to drive an an interurban rail line in the middle of a small town. That'd be super awesome. Now, of course, in real life, the street running got demolished due to safety concerns, noise complaints, things such as that. Alright, just past the dead section, so we will turn off the main circuit breaker. Aren't racetrack drivers employed by BNSF? I do not know, actually. I'm definitely not the person to answer that question. You would have to ask someone else, because I'm not sure on that one. It is possible. It's possible that maybe BNSF operates the racetrack because they own the trackage for the route, but I think they just don't have the Metro license. So they could technically build the racetrack with BNSF trains on it and Amtrak, but they could not. I just don't think they'd be able to do it with Metra, and obviously that would be a big mistake because Metra is the predominant traffic on the route. Now, I feel like if Dovetail actually did the Metra racetrack in the future, they should definitely do it not modern day. I'd say before 2018. And the reason I say that is because that would make for a very good chance to add the P42 to the game, because then you'd have the P42s on, I think, 2 or 3 long distance services, and then you'd have them running on the 2 Amtrak Midwest services. I think it's the Illinois Zephyr and the Carl Zandberg. That's what it is. Because I think one of the reasons why they stopped using MP36s on there, the BNSF drivers didn't like them. I think the reason the MP36 doesn't run on the racetrack, I think it's for some other purposes. I think it has some. I could be completely wrong about this, but I think it has something to do with like just them not having good acceleration or something compared to the F40s or something. Because then you also got to remember that because the only trains that run on the racetrack are the F40PHs and the F40PHM. There's literally no other trains running at. Oh shoot, I completely forgot about this 110 limit. Alright, brakes on suppression. Let's see. Okay, I am on neutral. Alright, completely forgot about that turn. Alright, let's release the brakes. Speed limit is 110. But I actually don't know the reason for it. You would have to ask someone else on that. Now, okay, getting back on topic. There aren't really any other electric routes out there other than, I mean, some people were speculating it was gonna be like a like a modern day Peninsula Corridor, kind of like what they did with the Island Line 2022. But that is not gonna happen because the electrification project isn't even completed yet, and the route is significantly changed from what it is currently. So that is not happening, and nor do I want to see it, because I still do not like the new trains. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Now, this is a theory by me. This is very unlikely to happen, but I was speculating that it could possibly be a light rail route. Now, some people would probably say that they wouldn't want to see a light rail route in Train Sim World, which I understand. But for me personally, I'd be completely down to see a light rail route in Train Sim World, because they would bring some really unique and interesting gameplay to the game. Like, I'd love to see something from the LA Metro. The LA Metro has some really cool lines, like the Gold Line, for example. Then there's also the Blue Line and the Expo Line. I'd say the Expo Line. The Expo Line is really cool. So, one of those two routes would be cool. Maybe VTA Light Rail, which is up in San Jose. That would be cool to see. what are some other light? I'm not a huge light rail expert, so of course I'm talking mostly about like light rail lines that are local to me. Because it would also be cool to see like the San Diego trolley, because the San Diego trolley has some really cool lines. I'd love to see which line was it? I think it was the orange line. Whatever line goes to San Diego State, that line has really cool scenery on it. Yeah, whatever line goes to San Diego State, that would be really cool to see. So I mean, it is possible. I'm not counting on it, but I feel like that would be a really cool addition in my opinion, to see a light rail route. Now of course, I don't think Dovetail's even made a light rail route for train simulators, so very likely it's not happening, but again, it would just be something that'd be really cool to see in the future. Now let's talk about obviously the most likely candidates for the electric route. So very likely it's going to be another section of the Northeast Corridor, or it's going to be New Jersey Transit. I'm kind of leaning more towards it being a New Jersey Transit dedicated route. I think New Jersey Transit's inevitable. Like, I can definitely see why Dovetail would want to make a New Jersey Transit route. Because one, it's a completely new operator for the game, which Dovetail's all about introducing new operators to Train Sim World. And also just because New Jersey Transit would provide a lot of unique and interesting gameplay to Train Sim World. Because you have the ALP 45 and 46, which are both heavily inspired, or their design was inspired by the DBBR 101 and the Trax locomotives. But also, now I feel like that's something I kind of worry about, is like if Dovetail are making a New Jersey Transit route, I feel like a lot of people are gonna say, oh, it's just gonna be an American version of the 146 or something like that, like some sort of dumb excuse. So they're thinking it's just gonna be an exact copy of the train, but that is very far from the truth. Because the ALP 45 and ALP 46 are very different than the 146 or any Trax locomotive. First and foremost, the locomotives use Westinghouse braking, which I feel like again would be a turn away for some people, because a lot of people hate the Westinghouse braking on the F40 on Peninsula Corridor, but I enjoy Westinghouse braking, so I absolutely love the LP 45 and 46. So again, I'm super down to see. I'm hoping mostly for the ALP 46, because those are my favorite in the New Jersey Transit fleet, specifically the ALP 46A, because they're slightly better sounding, they have slightly more horsepower, and things such as that. You know, it's possible they may make the ALP 46 as well, because again, they're basically the same train, except the ALP 46A has slightly more horsepower, slightly higher top speed, and slightly different sounds. So I could totally see Dovetail doing it. So I think it's like the first 30 units are standard ALP 46s, and then the last 30 are ALP 46As. And then the ALP 45 is basically the same, but it has less horsepower and again slightly different sounds. But it's definitely a very unique experience. It's definitely a really interesting experience. And then of course it sounds significantly different than the 101 and the Trax locomotives. Really, they have really nice traction motor noises. I really like them. They also have lots of physical differences if you're paying attention to detail. And then, yeah, that's really about it. And then I feel like also a huge marketing point for it is also going to be brand new rolling stock, because New Jersey Transit uses the Bombardier multi-levels, which would definitely be cool to see, because I really like the Bombardier multi-levels. Definitely a very common sight to see on the Northeast Corridor. And then there's also the common coaches. it'd be interesting to see what they do with like the comic coaches and stuff, because New Jersey Transit's in a bit of a weird spot in terms of their comet fleet. So on their diesel lines, they use all Comet 5s, which are the newest comic car models. But on most of the electrified lines, they use Comet 5 cab cars, and then they use Comet 2 and Comet 3 coaches, I believe. So it's definitely interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see if they add the Comets, but guaranteed they would add the Bombardier multi-levels, because those are probably the most common sight you would see on the route. Alright, we are now approaching Providence. But yeah, and then I don't know if I could see this happening, but I could possibly see Dovetail possibly adding the Aero 3s. I'm not betting on it, but it is possible they may add it with the ALP-46. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Personally, it's my least favorite train in New Jersey Transit, just because I think this is a bit of a hot take, but I think they're... Oh crap, I'm coming way too fast. But I think they're kinda ugly, in my opinion. Again, that's completely my opinion. Okay, that was a pretty bad stop. I wasn't applying enough brakes. And I just unlocked the wrong doors. Try locking. There you go. But yeah, I'm hoping that it's a New Jersey Transit. It's definitely, if they are doing New Jersey Transit, hopefully they're adding the ALP-46 with Bombardier multi-levels, and maybe the Aero 3s with it, maybe the ALP-45. Also, sorry I've been ignoring your comments, Noah. I'm gonna read through them right now. The thing is, if we got NEC New York to Philly, that would include New Jersey Transit, unless they do the Morris and Essex lines or the North Jersey coastline. 46s are based off of the 101. Yes, they are. Now, here's the thing. They're based off of the 101, but I feel like they look more like the 146, just appearance-wise. So yeah, that's just one thing to note. Comet 2 and Comet 4s. My favorite New Jersey Transit stock, but in my opinion, Arrows are kind of a love/hate thing in a way. Yeah, honestly, this may be even more of a hot take, but I kind of like the Silverliner. Well, I kind of like the Silverliner 5, not the Silverliner 5s, the Silverliner 4s a little more, because I think they have a better horn. But of course, the Aero 3s are also better in the sense that they have 3 sets of doors, while the Silverliner 4s only have 2 sets of doors. Yeah. So now, in terms of okay, so I'm gonna go in 2 scenarios here. So northeast. So if it's the Northeast Corridor, or if it's a New Jersey Transit route. So Northeast Corridor, I'm praying it's New York to Philadelphia. I am absolutely praying that it is. That's definitely the main U.S. route I want to see get announced. Now, it is 90 miles, but again, Dovetail made routes that long, so I'm not taking it out of the equation. They would have to do New York to Philly and not like New York to Trenton, because now New York to Trenton could work because it's about 58 miles, I believe, and you have the entire New Jersey Transit line. But the problem is that the Acela does not stop, or not all Acelas stop at Trenton, so that's why. I mean, Dovetail could just deviate from the timetable a bit and make them make scheduled stops at Trenton, but I personally wouldn't want to see that. I just feel like that'd be a little too unrealistic. So I'm hoping it goes all the way to Philly. I wouldn't be disappointed if they didn't include SEPTA, because personally, SEPTA isn't as interesting as New Jersey Transit on the route. But yeah, I would not be disappointed if they didn't include SEPTA, because if it's for licensing purposes, then yeah. Now, and then definitely I would really hope that they include the Dinky shuttle going from Princeton Junction to Princeton University. Would be a very good branch line to add, because it would add a ton of services, And it would definitely have some nice variety. So yeah. And then if they were to add SEPTA, it would also be cool if they extended the route to University Park, which would then provide the entire Trenton line. It's only like a couple additional, I think it's like a few additional miles on New York to Philadelphia. So I feel like that would also be a solid addition to the route. Some people may also say like Hoboken Terminal, but personally I would say no to that because not a lot of New Jersey trains. I don't even think there's any Northeast Corridor line trains that originate in Hoboken. I think they all go in and out of New York Penn. Now, the other possibility, I mean, it could also be DC to Baltimore, and maybe they somehow got marked. I would be down to see that. But the one part I am not hoping for is the section between New York and New Haven. Now, it's a love or hate route, but I am one of the people who absolutely despises that route because obviously it's one of the slowest parts of the Northeast Corridor. But I feel like it's so possible to be added to because you would have obviously you have Amtrak trains, but then you would also have the Metro North trains, which would be the M8. And they've already made part of the Harlem line. So like I feel like it's possible, which scares me because I do not want to see it get added to the game. Because I just feel like it's overrated in my opinion. So yeah, I'm hoping it's not New York to New Haven, but it is very possible. I'm still praying it's New York to Philly though. Now when it comes to New Jersey Transit, this is where things I feel like get a bit more difficult. Because the obviously main lines you would have are the Morris and Essex lines, and then the North Jersey coastline. Now, it's kind of difficult to choose because I'd say North Jersey coastline is slightly faster than. Yeah, I'd say North Jersey coastline is slightly faster than let's do a Reedville service in the cab car. Yeah, we'll just do the 650 service. Now, yeah, so North Jersey coastline I'd say is a faster route, and it's definitely interesting. Has some solid scenery on it, and it would make for some interesting gameplay in the ALP45. But my problem with it is that then you would be running on the Northeast Corridor between New York and Rahway, which is honestly a pretty big section of New York to Philadelphia. I wouldn't say huge, but definitely relatively big. And my problem with this is that, I mean, you technically could have Amtrak services on the route, but you would only be running between Newark and Newark Airport, which I feel like would definitely not be fun because we also have the NEC New York. Unless Dovetail extended the route to Metro Park, but again, there's a lot of trains that skip Metro Park, so I just feel like it's not practical. So I feel like a lot of people would complain that like Amtrak services aren't playable, so then like just make New York to Philadelphia instead. So like I just feel like if they make the North Jersey coastline, I feel like one, it would cause a lot of backlash for not having playable Amtrak services or very short Amtrak services. And two, then I feel like it would give them a reason to not build New York to Philadelphia. Cause then I don't know. I just feel like once they make whatever this overhead electric route is, I feel like Dovetail's gonna try to make some more diesel routes, which I'm really hoping is the case because we haven't had any in a while. Oh wow, it's dark. Alright, let's see here. Oops, put that into forward. Let's see, what side is the platforms on our left? So honestly, I kind of want it to be the Morristown line. I probably honestly say just the Morristown line, in my opinion. I don't think we really need. I don't really think we need the wait. Oh wait, I'm thinking of the Boonton line, but that's diesel, so I take that back. Or I think it's part diesel, part electric, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, the Essex line is the Gladstone branch. That's what I'm thinking of. Personally, I don't know if I'd want to see that. because I think it's mostly just Arrow 3s running on the Essex lines, or yeah, or the Gladstone branch, or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. Oh wow, we're going straight to Ruggles. So we're skipping Hyde Park. Alright, let's go. But yeah, so I'm kind of hoping it's the Morristown line, and honestly, I feel like it's a relatively interesting route to say the least. It's definitely not as fast as the North Jersey coastline. I feel like most of the time you're good. I think the speed limit's about 40 to 60 miles per hour. I think 50 to 60. Yeah, 50 to 60. But I think where the route really shines is that it has a lot of variety on it, because I have played the route in Train Simulator. Wait, do I have... Hang on a second. Do I even have, Oh shoot, I never turned on the generator field. Oops. Uh-oh. Am I getting power from the engine? Oh man. Okay, well now I'm getting power, but okay, you know what, I'm gonna restart because one, I left very late, and two, I forgot to turn on the headlights. But yeah, so but the Morristown line is honestly a really interesting route in terms of just variety. So obviously you start out in New York Penn and Hoboken. Yeah, I feel like if Dovetail makes a New Jersey transit route that isn't on the Northeast Corridor, they should definitely include Hoboken Terminal with it. Or actually, no, if they do the Morristown line, they need to do Hoboken Terminal, because I think that's where the majority of New Jersey Transit trains come out. But then there's also still a decent amount that come out of New York Penn. But now, like with the North Jersey coastline, I think most trains originate in New York Penn, I believe. I could be completely wrong. No, I believe that's true. Hang on a second. Now, where are the headlights in this train? I completely forgot where they... Oh, right. Yeah, get a cab light. No, I'm guessing the drivers aren't allowed to have the... No. There they are. It's dim. I need bright. Yeah, so I feel like if Dovetail does the Morristown line, the route should be coming out of Hoboken Terminal. If they do the North Jersey coastline, probably out of New York Penn. Or actually with the Morristown line, they could probably do both New York Penn and Hoboken Terminal. I feel like that would definitely be a great way to maximize like just the variety on the route, along with also then again it would kind of set the stage for like if they ever want to build like something south of New York. So yeah, okay, so now going back to like what the route's actually like. So you obviously start out in rather Hoboken or New York Penn, and then you run down, and then you're on the approach to Newark Penn. You branch off to the right and stop at Newark Broad Street, which is a really nice station. It has a really cool trestle bridge right in front of it. And then let's see. It's been a while since I've actually played it. Oh yeah. Now the cool part is that the route has a lot of frequent stops at the past Newark Broad Street. Like stations are relatively close to each other, a little too close in some areas. But what's cool about this part is that it's triple tracked. Triple tracked? Yeah, triple tracked. And it's probably the fastest part of the route. I think trains can go up to like 70 miles an hour, 70 to 80, something along those lines. And it's honestly really interesting, and there's some really interesting stopping patterns on this part of the route. And then once you get to the end of it, the line goes to 2 tracks. I forgot the name of the station where it merges into 2 tracks. But it then eventually does that. and then the route does get slower, but then you get into more suburban styled scenery. And as the line progresses, the route actually begins to become a lot more scenic. And it's honestly really nice. But yeah, and then like once you're getting to the end of the line, towards, oh wait, I forgot where I'm going. Yeah, whatever the end of the line is, it is really good scenery. Got an MBTA train. But yeah, I honestly think the Morristown line would be a good route. Hoboken Terminal would definitely be super busy. There's a ton of traffic going in and out of there. There will also be a ton of traffic going in and out of New York Penn. So it would definitely have a lot of busyness in the New York area. And even on the Morristown line, I think the Morristown line is the second busiest New Jersey Transit line in the system, right behind the Northeast Corridor line. So I feel like the route would definitely have a plentiful amount of services and a lot of interesting gameplay. So I think I'd honestly say go with the Morristown line. I'm fairly confident most Morristown stuff goes into Penn. The only stuff from Hoboken is the Gladstone stuff and some extra peak diesel Comet 5s. Interesting. I don't know, I think I had someone tell me that a decent amount of the trains still come out of Hoboken Terminal from the Morristown line. But of course the main purpose for Hoboken is obviously to serve the diesel lines, the Main and Bergen County lines, and the there's another line. What is it called? So I think it's the Passac Valley line or something like that. I forgot. So yeah. So here would be my top. Yeah, so I feel like New York to Philadelphia would be my biggest hope for the new US route. Then it would be the Morristown line. And then most likely I'd say I'd probably say then the North Jersey coastline. And then I'd probably say Northeast Corridor DC to Baltimore. And I guess if I wanted to make this a top 5, I'd probably say I don't know, honestly. Probably like a SEPTA line or something. Maybe the Keystone Corridor with SEPTA trains on it. Oh, okay, I see, Noah. Alright, we're now approaching Forest Hills. I love the horn on this thing. Got 2.3 miles to go until we reach Ruggles. And then after this, I think we'll hop in the F40 and go down to Stoughton. And then after that, I thought we'd do something a little interesting to end off the stream. Yeah, definitely hoping the route gets some scenery improvements, because like this part of the route I definitely feel like is really inaccurate, because like these walls on the right, they're definitely not accurate. They definitely don't look as nice. They're not made of brick, and they're not yellow, so that's definitely a major inaccuracy. It's supposed to be gray, and unfortunately does not look as nice as the game makes it look. Yeah, it's like, I feel like it should look more like this, almost. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if that was what if they upgrade the scenery with, but I feel like they could do better, honestly. Alright, let's apply the brakes. We're now approaching Ruggles, and ow, these brakes hurt my ears. I hope that's something Dovetail fixes in the next on this route, because I don't believe that the brakes should be hissing this much when applied, or for not this long. And here we are. Ow, my ears. Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. I don't think the brakes would just constantly be hissing like that. They probably do hiss like that for a couple seconds, but then stop after a while. If you turn the EP brake off, the hissing stops and it still operates pretty much the same way. I'm not gonna do that. I honestly don't think that's accurate, at least from my understanding. Oh, is this the? Oh yeah, this is the MBTA orange line. Well, definitely can see the passenger. You can definitely see the high density of passengers with rush hour. Let's see if we listen to the F40 depart. Listen to the traction motors. Lovely. Alright, next up is Boston Back Bay. Okay, no, we'll be fine. That's right, there is a bit of a bug where the tunnel renders in kind of late. The tunnel lighting's also not that good in this route, so hopefully that also gets improved. Let's see, when does it go down to 30? It goes down like right after. Yeah. So as soon as I get that warning, I'm just gonna start applying the brakes. Release the brakes. And this was obviously where that devastating accident in I think it was the late 90s, where there was a very devastating accident at this very curve inside Boston Back Bay. Alright, let's apply some brakes. Alright, doors are open. Oh look, it's a train coming off of the Worcester line, or the Framingham and Worcester. I think that's how you pronounce it, or I think it's Worcester, although it could be Worcester. Or it's some other way that I'm just completely butchering. Alright, lock the doors. And now our next and final stop, Boston. Hopefully at some point, now since we have the Acela in the game, hopefully we see the HSP-46 make an appearance on this route. Now, it's kind of a question if it should be a Loco DLC or if it should just be included in another MBTA route, because Dovetail has a lot of MBTA routes at their disposal that they could most certainly make with lots of different trains. So honestly, here's my theory or here's like my idea of what they could do. So I think if Dovetail wanted to make a route south of Boston, so coming out of Boston South Station, I feel like that would be a good opportunity to make the HSP-46 and then layer it onto Boston Providence. And the reason I feel like it would work better off as a layer than it would be a Loco DLC is because the HSP-46 does remotely the same type of services that the F40 does. So I just feel like it would be kinda pointless to make it as a DLC, because I feel like it'd be difficult to be able to make new gameplay in terms of like scenarios and stuff, and it wouldn't add a lot of services to this route, or you wouldn't add any new services, because I think the F40 does all the MBTA services. So I feel like it would just make sense to have the HSP-46 be added on a different route and then be layered onto this route and be substituted with or integrated into the timetable with the F40. So I think that would probably be best. And then obviously then they'd be able to add the multi-levels with it, and then everyone would be happy there. So I feel like if they wanted to do I feel like if they... God, Break, shut up. I feel like a specific route I'd want to see that's south of Boston would rather be one of the old... I think the old colony lines would be kind of cool. Or the, the Framingham Worcester line. I think those two would... Oh shit, I forgot to slow down to 10. Now, if I was to pick one, I'm honestly not sure, because I feel like if Dovetail included all three old colony lines, I feel like that would be some really interesting gameplay, and I think it's actually a relatively fast route. I think there's a lot of 60 to 70 mile an hour action on it, so I think that wouldn't be a bad option. But then I'd say for the Framingham Worcester line, it's definitely one of the more well-known MBTA lines. And it also has some Amtrak trains on it. It has the Late for Sure Limited running on it. I think that's it. But so if Dovetail ever added like Viewline, do they use? Yeah, they use Viewliners. So if Dovetail ever adds Viewliners to the game, which could happen, in Ampli 2s, and the P42 obviously, then they could definitely layer yeah, they can definitely do layer it onto the Framingham Worcester line. Oops. Now, in Boston North Station, I feel like if Dovetail does an MBTA route out of Boston North Station, I think that would be a great opportunity to introduce the GP40MC to the game, since I think most run north of Boston, and that'd be a great opportunity to add the newer single-level coaches. So, and now if I was to choose a specific route north of Boston, I'd probably say the Lowell and Haverhill lines, because then you'd be able to add Amtrak Downeaster to the route, which would be a great opportunity to add the P42 to the game. And then it would also be a great opportunity to add the NCPU F40, the NCPU F40 cab car. That would be really cool to see. So I feel like that could be very cool, because then you'd have 2 MBTA lines, and Amtrak Downeaster runs on both of them. So I feel like that'd be a really interesting experience. And then the other one would probably be the Fitchburg line. So yeah, the Fitchburg line would also be cool, because it's now I don't know a whole lot about it, but again, my friend who lives here in Boston, it's the main MBT route he wants to see get added to the game. So I'll take his word that it's a good route. Alright, so now let's hop on in the F40. Oops. And we will do a service to Stoughton. Now, something I honestly hate about this timetable is that most of the services for MBTA are these midday storage services, which are pretty dumb, to be honest. They're just depot moves, and I kind of hate that that's the majority of the services. I hate that there's like no deadhead services on this route, because I think MBTA does do some deadhead moves, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, I'm trying to find a stone service that I have not completed yet. Do the 17, we'll do MBTA Stone Train number 917. Pronunciation is the same as the UK one, Worcester. Oh god, I wasn't even close. Worcester sounds so much cooler though. MBTA Stone number 917 operate Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority Stone Line train number 917 from Boston South Station to Stoughton. Alright, let's get this puppy fired up. Let's unlock the doors. Let's get the 3 main switches on. Set the headlights to bright. Insert the reverser. I'm not going to put into forward just yet. Gauge lights on. Apply the independent brake. Release the automatic brake. Now cut in the brakes. And set the MU2A valve to lead or dead. Let's turn on head and power. Okay, should be good to go there. Get the front number lights on, then I'll just turn on the alerter. Alright, we should be all ready to go. Got a lot of MBTA trains here in Boston. Worcester. I mean, god, that's even worse. Alright, let's go. Let's release the brakes and let's get moving. Speed limit is 10 miles per hour. Gonna leave us on 9 miles per hour. Actually, I'll pull us up to 10 and then just let the train coast. Alright, retract to the power. Even people here mispronounce it as Worcester, which is pretty funny. Interesting. Yeah, I'm super excited to see when the Acela releases for Train Sim World 3. I'm hoping that the Acela is the first one to release in 2023 because we've gone a German route, we've gone a UK route. So hopefully that means that we're gonna get some US stuff. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm hoping the Acela is first. I've been waiting very patiently for the Acela DLC. But yeah, definitely going to be very critical about the sounds. Now, I'm honestly not too worried that about the sounds. I'm sure they're still going to sound great, but you just never know. Because I believe Dovetail did say that they did get audio recordings for the Acela when they came here to get audio recordings to the ACS 64. So I'm hoping that's the case. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be very critical about. Obviously, I'm going to be critical about the horn and the traction motors, but I don't know. Would I be more critical about the horn or the traction motors? I honestly don't know. Because, like, they're both so significant to the Acela. Because the Acela, honestly, has such a distinct horn. Definitely probably one of the best sounding horns in Amtrak's fleet. Because, yeah, it has a hybrid K5LA. It sounds really good. Really gives it, like, an intimidating feel to it. And that's what I like about it so much. I'd say the horn's probably the most important part, but I also really hope that the traction motors sound good, because the Acela has really nice sounding traction motors. So I'm definitely gonna be very. I don't think Dovetail's gonna mess up the horn, but I'm kind of worried about the traction motors because I'm definitely gonna be very critical about that. Now, obviously they will have the fan sounds and stuff. I'm sure that's not going to be an issue. I'm more just worried about the, like the whines that are sounded before the fan noises. Ah, shoot. Minimum. Probably going to overshoot a little bit since I applied the brakes pretty late. Yeah, I'm supposed to stop at that 6-car marker. Oops. Yeah, I completely forgot to switch to my automatic brakes. Oh well. It will also be interesting to see like what the scenarios are gonna be like, because timetable mode is gonna be relatively simple. Because I believe there's gonna be about 20 Acela services added to this route. Well, that's what it would be on all routes, because I think there's only 20 Acela train sets total. And I think there's only 20 round trip, or yeah, I think there's only 20 service. I think like 10 inbound, 10 outbound services, I believe. I could be wrong though. I haven't looked at the Amtrak timetable in a while, but I believe that's what it is. So we'll probably get around 20-ish services, or 20 mainline services, and then about probably a few like depot services that go into Southampton Street Yard. Yeah, so it's definitely there's not gonna be anything too impressive within actual service mode, but it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do for scenario planner, or not scenario planner, just scenarios on the route. Like maybe they'd have like maybe have a service that skips Route 128. That could be a possibility. Probably have something to do in Southampton Street Yard. That's most definitely possible. And there could be some other stuff. Dotel is usually good at making interesting scenarios. Alright, let's go full power. Speed limit is 60 miles per hour. But now something I still don't understand with Amtrak's logic is why are there no Acela services that skip Route 128? Like, Route 128 looks like a station that the Acela would not stop at. So it's kind of confusing to me why they stop there. Yeah, I still scratch my head about it to this day. Okay, so now we're going about 48 miles an hour, so I'm going to pull back the power. Alright, and now let's hit the brakes. Luckily the steep uphill definitely slows us down. Ease off the brakes for just a moment. God, I remember the days when the brakes on the F40 were like not powerful at all. Like you had to go almost full brakes to be able to stop at most stations, and it was so weird. Good stop. Ruggles is definitely a very interesting looking station. I don't know how I feel about the modeling though. It looks kind of weird. Like, I definitely like the station design, like in real life and stuff. Oh my. Ew. That is... yeah, this route badly needs scenery upgrades. Like, very badly. More than almost any other route in Train Sim World, without a doubt. So I really hope this route gets, like, major scenery improvements. Alright, next stop is Hyde Park. Alright, next up is Hyde park in 5.8 miles. And on our right is the MBTA orange line. It'll definitely be really interesting to see what Dovetail has done to this route, because obviously they added the new lighting to the route, but I'm curious to see what else they've done. Hopefully, they also implemented signaling improvements. I'd say that's probably the biggest priority. Definitely making sure scenarios are playable, because I believe I heard there's like 1 or 2 scenarios that are like super buggy. I haven't played any of them, so. But I think it's possible they might have already been fixed. But yeah. So signaling should probably be the main priority, because I think that's like the main cause for some of the bugs on the route or in some of the scenarios. Oh shoot, I gotta slow down to 45. And then I'd probably say the time. I honestly feel like the timetable needs to be overhauled, because mainly just because of like the computer generated times and stuff. Because I feel like the computer generated times just really hurt the immersion, like just on the timetable. And I feel like there's also some other issues just with the timetable in general. Like something I've noticed is like when driving Northeast Regional Services towards Boston, I feel like I'm always being cut off by Stoughton line services, which I find very hard to believe, because Amtrak should be having the higher priority over, they should be having priority over MBTA trains. At least that's what I believe that's the case. Don't see why they wouldn't be the main priority. But yeah, so that's one thing I've noticed in the timetable. I just feel like they keep letting MBTA trains off of the Stone line to cut in front of Northeast Regionals, which means you have to come to a rapid and abrupt stop, which is very likely not realistic. So hopefully that gets fixed. But yeah, I honestly just feel like the timetable should just be overhauled, and like if Joe does it, then honestly I could see the route just getting. I'm sure Joe will find some interesting ways to make the route more interesting. Hello, do you remember me? Happy holidays to you too. So I'm really hoping that this route gets a timetable overhaul. It makes perfect sense to do it, since obviously then they have to implement the Acela. So if they upgrade the timetable, definitely remove the computer generated times. Fix any issues that are in the timetable, and obviously implement the Acela, and maybe find ways to like implement some more interesting services on the route. Because I feel like the one thing Dovetail missed in terms of services on this route are deadhead moves. Because I'm very sure MBTA does do some stock moves, and there aren't even any services that use or any MBTA trains that use this yard right here, just outside of Providence, and I believe MBTA actually stores trains in that yard, and there's no services there. So I feel like that's another thing Dovetail could do. I believe it's also for like I believe it's for a local railroad called, I think it's like the Worcester or the Worcester. It's like the Worcester and South Railroad or something. I forgot what it was called. Some sort of local freight train also uses that yard. Oh wait, it's like the Worcester and Providence Railroad, something along those lines. But anyways, I definitely feel like Dovetail should add some more. They could definitely add some depot services for that yard. Add some deadhead moves. Add some unique services to this route, and obviously fix the computer generated times. at the Acela, and I feel like that would definitely very much improve the timetable. And then after that, I'd probably say scenery needs to be improved. Although, like for me, I feel like scenery should be a main priority. Obviously this route has a lot of problems, so I feel like those need to be addressed first before talking about fixing some of the other, or before fixing more minor but still annoying issues on the route. So yeah, then I feel like scenery should be the next priority, because the scenery definitely needs a lot of improvements on this route. Because oh geez, I'm coming way too fast. This will definitely be a rough stop. Yeah, I got more brakes. Yeah, I braked way too late. Or I don't think I even applied enough brakes. Yeah, the scenery definitely is not good on this route. I definitely feel like Dovetail could have put a lot more time into improving the scenery, because there's still a lot of floating and buggy scenery on this route, and there's definitely just a lot of inaccurate parts of this route. So I really hope there's at least definitely the main priority is to get rid of the floating and glitchy scenery, and then if possible, just try to make the scenery more accurate. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, definitely one thing I do hope they do in terms of improving accuracy is adding a Pawtucket station, since Dovetail never added it to the route, which is very disappointing. So I really hope they model the station. That's like the one thing I do hope they do in terms of scenery improvements, other than like fixing like floating scenery and bugs. So I definitely hope that happens. And then obviously trying to make the scenery more realistic and stuff. Now, one thing I do hope they also fix is change the track model, because right now the track model is completely inaccurate to real life. Is this brown, or I think it's brown. I could be wrong though. Because in real life, the track used on this line are they use like light gray ballast, and they use tracks with white concrete ties. So I just find it kind of weird that they use the Northeast Corridor New York tracks for this, which is just not accurate at all. Because one, you should be able to see the entirety of the tracks. Yeah, like, hang on a second. Oh, now here you can see. Okay, that's just the track rendering. It's just out of whack. It's just whack. So yeah, you should be able to see the ballast in the middle like this, but the track ties should be they should be concrete. So that's definitely my biggest complaint. So I also hope they improve that, because I feel like the track is also significant. I have not been paying attention to chat, so let me get caught up. Okay, speed limit is going down to 60, merging back onto the main line. So yeah. Hello, Gamer Rob. Welcome to the stream. Really, I'm hoping it's a Joe timetable if they do upgrade it. There is an MBTA train stored in there, but you can't move it, which is a bummer. Wait, there is one? I've never seen it. Unless you're referring to the scenario. Oh jeez. Yeah, unless you're referring to that one scenario that uses that yard, or there's just a service I just don't realize exists. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure some of the morning/late. Whoa, that went to that curve pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure some of the morning/late ones that start and finish at Providence are stored in the yard. Yeah, I believe in real life, but I don't think I've seen any. I don't believe I've seen any in Train Sim World. Curious, how accurate do you think the speed is to being realistic? Hint if need. Wait, what are you trying to get at? Are you referring to the speed limits on this route? Because yeah, one thing to note is the cab signals in the F40 are inaccurate because the speed limit should not be 90 miles per hour. It should be It should be 79, and that is because obviously because we're pulling CTC coaches, which they only have a top speed of 79 miles per hour. I think you'd only be able to go 90 miles per hour if you had all BTC coaches or multi-levels. Okay, let me cut the power. And let's apply the brakes. So yeah, so definitely the cab signals for the F40 are not accurate because they should be limited to 79 miles per hour because of the coaches. And then another thing to note is the Acela 64 runs on the track speeds for the Acela, which is obviously not accurate. So, but that should be fixed when the Acela gets released, because then the Acela will be running at the current speed limits that are in the game, but the ACS will be running at slightly slower speeds. So it's not going to be like significant speed changes. It's going to be more like just 10 mile per hour difference. So like if the speed limit is 120 miles per hour like it is right now, most likely the ACS will be restricted to 110 miles per hour. Most likely. So yeah, that should be fixed. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what other fixes get implemented to this route. Now, one thing to also note is this just connects to nothing. I'm unsure if this is actually I believe it's supposed to connect to this building, because I don't see why this would even exist. I'd have to look on Google Earth to see what this station actually looks like in real life, because I actually don't know. Another MBTA train pulling in. Oh wow, we aren't due to depart for another 2 minutes. Oh, it's starting to get a bit misty by the looks of it. Might be a nice screenshot. The weather is getting worse. Wait, hold on. Tell you this real-life railroad, that speedometer is false, not accurate. Something missing. Do you know that gives you an accurate speed fact? I'm still confused what you're trying to get. Are you saying that the speedometer is that this is inaccurate? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm just confused. Do you mind if you clarify? And why did I close the doors? I don't know. Unless you're also, now one thing I also noticed is, like at least on some routes, definitely on older routes, like the speedometer, like usually the speedometer in the actual train sometimes usually doesn't match the speedometer on the HUD. Now for some routes, this isn't a problem. It was fixed like in preservation updates, but recently, like some of the newer releases, they still have this issue, so it's kind of strange. So yeah, that's just one thing I've always noted. It's always been something that like just minorly bothers me. Okay, we're departing in about 45 seconds, or about 30 seconds. And our next stop should be Canton Junction. Yes, it is. Alright, we'll release the brakes. We'll leave a little early. Next stop is Canton Junction in 3.3 miles. Oh man, the fog's gotten really bad now. Gotta love that dynamic weather. Something that would also be interesting to see get implemented to this route is obviously playable GP38 services. That is also like a possible rumor for that US expansion pack that was put on the roadmap. I was seeing a lot of people saying that possibly it's an updated CSX GP30 or GP30, rather a GP30 or GP40. I think the GP40 is more accurate to real life, and it would have just in-cab signaling in it and stuff, and then probably come with some scenarios, some services and timetable mode for this route, and probably future Northeast Corridor routes. So honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing that. So yeah, I feel like I mean I wouldn't mind it, but I feel like a lot of people would be disappointed over an add-on like that because we obviously have a CSX GP38 already in the game. So I feel like maybe, I don't know, I feel like Dovetail could maybe just bring back like the GP40 from San Petro and Northeast Corridor, New York, because I believe that's what's more common. I think they're just having the GP38 substitute. But yeah, I again, I'm one to talk because I'm by no means an expert of the Northeast Corridor. I probably should have pinged one of my friend that lives in Boston to be in the stream, because he'd be able to answer almost any of my questions, inaccuracies and inaccuracies. Alright, 1.2 miles, you gotta slow down to 45. See, we're going 70 right now. Okay, let's pull back the power now and get slowing down to 45. Real life railroading, speedometers are never right. They give you a theory of said speed, but to be accurate, something is missing that Delta Games has never put in game. Oh, so you're saying speedometers are not supposed to be 100% accurate to the speed that they're going? Am I getting that? Am I getting that right, or am I still being stupid? Okay, I braked a little too early. Probably gotta start braking once I had visuals on these signals. Alright. And in a moment, I probably should slow down. Or probably should slow down right now, because then we have to slow down to 30 and then to 20, I believe. Yeah. 200 yards, I have to slow down to 20, or 30, and then it goes down to 20 like halfway through Canton Junction. Alright, release the brakes. This is Canton Junction. a little more brakes. We're gonna overshoot a little bit. Alright, here we are. And we only have 2 more stops to go, and we do not have to leave for another 5 minutes, apparently. It's a bit of a bro moment. I want to see something. Okay, never mind. I was curious to see if there was any trains waiting for me to get off the northeast corridor. I wonder what this branch is for. It's probably just a freight spur. Now I know this is the Wildcat branch, which I believe is used exclusively for special events at, I forgot the name of the stadium that the Patriots play in. I think it's used exclusively for sporting events. It's honestly a shame because there's a lot of freight spurs on this route. Definitely could have a lot of interesting gameplay. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Had someone walk in on me. Oh, what's going on here? I think I accidentally let the passengers off on this race platform, and now they have nowhere to go. And it sucks to be them. Got foggy pretty quickly. It is cool to see that a lot of the passengers do use the overpass. That's pretty cool. Are there any trains nearby? Just out of curiosity. Curious if I'd see any Amtrak trains going through Canton while we're waiting. And it looks like the answer to that is no. Will there be an Amtrak Hiawatha route in Train Sim World 3? Nothing on the roadmap, so probably no. I could see it happening in the future. It's definitely possible. But right now, most likely, we're not going to see it. Is it the Hiawatha service? That's the... I forgot where it goes, but I believe it runs partially on the Metro Milwaukee District North line, if I'm not mistaken. Milwaukee to Chicago, okay. That explains it. I mean, here's the only reason I'd say it's not possible is because I believe Metra operates like the trackage that yeah, I believe Metra operates the trackage that it runs on for the short portion. It runs with the Hiawatha service. So I feel like until Dovetail gets a Metra license, most likely we're not going to see it. Is there a Long Island Railroad in Train Sim World? Yes, there is. Between New York Penn, Hicksville, Atlantic Terminal, and Hempstead. The Harlem line is in Train Sim World between Grand Central Terminal and North White Plains. Something I kind of wish Dovetail did in the future was just automatically turn on the marker lights if you're in the lead loco or in whatever side you're leading on. It would just automatically turn on the marker lights, because it's kind of annoying that I'd have to come all the way over here just to turn on the marker lights if I'm just trying to do a quick service. Alright, well, we're departing shortly. For PS5, yep, it is available on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Epic Games. I feel like I'm forgetting something else. It's on, well, regardless, it's available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, so yeah, you should be completely fine. Alright, shut the doors. And let's release the brakes. Our next stop is Canton Center. Speed limit is 20 miles per hour, but it will shortly go up to 30. Alright, can now proceed up to 30. Be interesting to see if MBTA ever ends up extending the Stone Line. So I believe there are proposals to make it longer. Alright, we are now approaching Canton Center. I'm going to begin to apply the brakes now. And here we are. Let's unlock the doors. And we do not have to leave for another 2.5 minutes. It is a shame that yeah, it is a shame that the crossing gates then don't go down again once like it hears the horn or like there's like a motion trigger on the tracks. It's kind of dumb that they never implemented that. Also, major inaccuracy here. Look at these gas prices. These should be through the roof. This is a total lie into what the gas prices are here in the United States. Here, you'll be getting gas for the price of almost $6, sometimes $7. Gotta love inflation. Alright, departing in 45 seconds. Even in GBP, you'd be paying more than that. Oh. Alright, shut the doors. Alright, our next and final stop for this journey is Stoughton. Now, I'm guessing because this is a railroad crossing, I'd have to approach it slowly until the gates would supposedly close. So I'm just gonna pretend that they go down. Oops, I did not apply any brakes. Or, I did not apply any power as soon as I released the brakes. So I'm gonna keep it at notch 3 until the gates supposedly come down. Even here it's like $9 or $10 to fill up, sometimes it's really bad. Yikes. Gotta love inflation. Yeah, hopefully at some point Dovetail adds the functionality to like where you can trigger the crossing gates with whether your horn or motion triggers on the tracks, because that would definitely be very nice feature to have, because that is a common feature on most railroad crossings in America. Probably all railroad crossings in America. Because obviously they don't want to back up traffic if a train stops, so then it needs to be reactivated. But I think I could be completely wrong, because I think the horn can trigger the crossing, but I could be completely wrong. Our speed limit is 40 miles per hour. You just hit my car when the gates were still. Sorry, man. That sounds like a you problem. It's not my problem. The trains have the right of way. You don't. And I sounded the horn. So I should not be held accountable. So I forgot this is all like uphill. This is a nice little branch line. I like it. Now it's kind of weird that there's no whistle boards on this route, or for the crossings. Now that could be accurate, but I don't know. I feel like it's pretty standard for most railroad crossings in America to have whistle boards. So I'm gonna say that's not accurate. Now, like on Long Island Railroad, they don't have any, but in real life they do. I don't know. That feels weird with whistle boards. Alright. Will there be a P42 DC for Amtrak? Sooner than later, I'm sure. Like, there's definitely no reason Dovetail can't do it, but they just gotta do it the right way, you know? Because you can't, like, you technically could just add it to Cajon Pass, Horseshoe Curve, in Horseshoe Curve. But, again, they only operate daily service, so there isn't a lot of gameplay you'd be able to do with both train, or with the P42 on either route. So I feel like it makes the most sense to put the P42 on a route that actually has that's actually relatively frequent to just has relatively frequent service is what I'm trying to get at. And yeah, there most certainly are routes out there that you can at the P42 on that have frequent service. Oops, pull the power back. But as a matter of fact, I actually saw a P42 today. Hold on. Yeah, I was coming back visiting some family, and we were stuck on the freeway due to some construction. We were stuck in traffic, and then the Coast Star light passed by while we were stuck in traffic. Had a nice raised letter K5LA on it. Oh, it's snowing. I applied the brakes way too early. Okay, hold on, I need to turn on the wipers. And I can hardly see in here. There we go. Problem fixed. Do you know how a diesel locomotive can move without starting up? In real life, and only BNSF units and TSW3 can do it. Primary power turned off can still move without startup at a speed of 5 miles per hour. Well, other than like gradients, I'm honestly not sure. Keep on the power. Alright, we're 400 yards from Stoughton. Very minor snow going on here. Stone is definitely a very weird station to say the least. Mostly because there's a railroad crossing right in the middle of the station. And what's even more dumb is that MBTA trains terminate here. So I don't quite understand how they don't block traffic because of that. Yeah, I'm kinda not sure how that works. I guess MBTA trains do go in these layover sidings right here, so I guess that's what it is. But I could be wrong. Oh, that's it. Took us 50 minutes. Gold medal. Alright, so to end off the stream, I wanted to do one more thing that I thought would be a little bit fun. Jog mode. Uses battery power to move said locomotive without full start. Oh, that's interesting. How many license issues are they going to resolve their issues in Dovetail Game Train Sim World 3? Well, here's the thing. It's not like the reason they're running into problems is that like they contact these operators saying like, hey, we have interest in making a new route or a route using your guys' branding. Can we use them? Can we use the branding? And most of the time and then there's instances where operators would say, um, they would say no. And it's not be, and I mean, I think like some operators would probably say like, oh, we don't want people like driving our trains inappropriately or something like that. Um, I think I've heard like that's why some operators don't want to be in Train Sim World. I don't know which one specifically, but and then there's some other ones that like they just don't have time to negotiate stuff like that. Like I think that was, and kind of just the business models of multiple operators. Like originally Dovetail couldn't get a license with BNSF because BNSF was only allowing licensing inside North America because of how just their ways of operations work. So I think that's, I have no clue myself. I'm just going off of like what Dovetail have said, so I could be completely wrong. But that's just my understanding of why like there's a lot of licensing issues in Train Sim World. But then you have other operators such as like MBTA, Amtrak, Deutsche Bahn, that we're all willing to join Train Sim World. So all operators are different. Alright, so I figured to end off the stream, I figured we'd create a custom scenario for Boston Sprinter. And I was thinking of doing now it is very possible that there's already a scenario created for this, but I was thinking of creating an ICE1 test train scenario for this route. What should I call it? What if we call it? No. I was gonna say cold as ice, but I don't think they'd want. I doubt it if they actually did do testing of the ICE1 on the northeast corridor. I doubt they would do it in the snow. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would be a good name. Guess I could call it like Icebreaker or something. Nah, because I kind of wanted to like the scenario name to indicate that it's a test train. What if we call it? Oh, I have a good pun. We'll call it icy demonstration. Yeah, so we'll call it icy demonstration. I think that'd be kind of a funny name. You know, in Cajon Pass, BNSF 4 locos moving down grade, you should isolate one unit as to much power can overrun your train, mainly pushing too much power down grade. It works in-game very, very well. Alright, so first let's start by doing the actual IC1 service. This is going to be a very rough sketch of the service. I'll probably make changes to like AI traffic later. But we're going to start off with just the ICE train. Oh shoot. Nope. Okay, now something I find really dumb is that you can only choose a certain platform to choose a certain route you want to do. Okay, like I find that pretty stupid, to be honest. Alright, so we will do I want to have, I don't know, we'll see. So we'll go Boston to Providence. Do I want us to stop at Route 128? I don't think we're even going to stop at Boston Back Bay. I mean, I don't know anything about like the ICE test train that was on the northeast corridor. I don't know if it did demonstrate its stops, but I'm gonna say no. So I say we skip both Back Bay and Route 128 just to make the scenario more interesting. And we shall use the lovely icy one. Now, I probably could find a... Yeah, I probably could find a... So we'll call this ICE Amtrak test train. And basically it's just gonna be doing high speed testing, basically. We'll have it do a we'll have it start at 10 o'clock in the morning. Player controlled, passenger, confirm. Oh no, not the ice pun. Sorry man, had to do it. Okay, now I had a couple ideas for AI traffic on this route. So I was thinking that I thought it would be a cool idea to have 2 MBTA trains racing down the triple track section. So I think I could have like a train coming out from Reedville. Yeah, could have a train coming out from Reedville. And then a train coming from Route 128, and then they race each other. And then the IC passes both of them at a relatively similar time. I thought that'd be a really cool idea. But I have to time it super well. Because I have to make sure that I don't block the ICE. So let's see, we'll start with the one at Reedville. Because that's going to be the difficult one. So let's see, Reedville track. That does not help me at all. I'm guessing it's... Nope, it's not track 2. It's track 3 then. Wait. Departing from... Wait, I'm confused. Am I able to spawn on the... I'm confused which track is which. Departing from Reedville track 2, Stone to Boston. What's the difference? It's Stone to Boston, I guess. Confirm path. Oh, wait. Now should I have it stop at Hyde Park? I'd say no. Have it go to Ruggles. Have it stop at... Oh, confirm destination. Okay, but I just don't know what the difference between those two routes are. It's kind of dumb that they don't, tell you, like, what each individual route is. Because if it's a stone train, does that mean it takes, like, a slightly different path or something? Because, yeah, I want it to run on the right-hand track. If it doesn't work, then we can fix it later. So we will stop at Ruggles and Boston Back Bay. Confirm instructions, confirm service, and we will use... where is it? Do I have to choose the F40? Let me just type in MBTA. Yeah, okay, so I can only pick the F40. Oh, okay, let's see here. So we'll do a 6-car MBTA train, but then how do I choose? Oh, I guess it's in a predetermined direction. So then we'll do MBT. I'm not gonna. This is not based on a real life timetable by any means. We'll call it MBTA MBTA Franklin train 1. Call it that. And then, so we said the service would start at 11 o'clock. So let's have the service leave at 11:10. Is that too soon? I feel like it is too soon. Have it leave at 11:15. Not player controlled. Passenger. And then we'll just add one more service and then we'll test it. Alright, so now let's do the one coming out of Route 128. So we want it to go... We want it to go to Boston South. Oh wait. Oh, okay, so that's outbound. Okay, so track 2 is what we want then. Yeah, okay. Confirm path. And then destination of Boston South. We'll have it stop at Ruggles and Boston Back Bay. And it shall use the F40 again. Maybe we'll have a slightly longer train just to make things interesting. How about we have a 7-car train? That'd be cool. We'll call it MBTA Providence. MBTA Providence train 1. And we'll have it leave. So I had it leave at 11:15, so I'll have this one leave at 11:10, so that they still arrive at a similar time. Now, I think I'm gonna add... Wait, press X to begin designing your scenario. Oh shoot, no, I did not mean to do that. Okay. Oh, to add, yeah, okay. So let's add one more service, which will be a service that, have a service that comes out of Canton Center and then just stops at, Canton Junction. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'll start at Canton Center, go Stone to Boston. Okay. Confirm path. And then have a destination of Boston South. I'll have it stop at just Canton Junction. Or I guess it is going all the way to Boston, so. Alright. So I'll have it stop at Route 128. Have it stop at Ruggles and Boston Back Bay. Confirm instructions, confirm service. Let's get the F40. And I also want to add some sprinter services as well. Oh, that's a problem. Oh man, so okay, never mind. I need to change. Okay, I need to go back. Okay, I need to have it start in Stoughton. Yeah, because it is not long enough for any trains. And then select destination. Oh, okay. So we'll have it end at Canton Junction then. Yeah. Have it end at Canton Junction. Have it stop at Canton Center. Confirm service. And then we'll have the F40. Okay, there we go. So now we'll do we'll do this 5-coach train, I guess. And then we'll call this MBTA Stoughton. Stoughton train 1. And then we'll have it leave Stoughton probably at 11, or no, because yeah, I'll have it leave at 11:15. I'd say that's reasonable. And again, I can fiddle with this later. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I'll add more services. Let's see. When they tested the AC1 on the NEC, did it make its way up to Boston? No, it did not. And that is because it did not, electrification was not completed until, I believe it wasn't completed till like the early 2000s. Yeah, because like the whole reason why Amtrak bought the HHP8s in the first place was so that Amtrak was able to add additional electric train services to go up to Boston, because originally it was done by diesel trains. Yeah, so I believe yeah, in the early 2000s I believe was when, yeah, and I believe high-speed testing was probably done. I forgot when it was done. It was probably done probably shortly before the Acela entered service. So it was probably done like while the metro lines were in service. So that was in the 90s. So definitely between New York and Washington. So yeah, So this is all I'll do for now. But eventually I will add more services, try and make sure everything works properly, and then I'll upload this to Creators Club. Scenario details. That's fine. Let's see now, how do I... Okay, here we go. IC demonstration. Oh shoot, hold on. I need to edit. I just realized something. This isn't the player service. Edit detail. Yes, confirm. Alright, save and exit. Alright, problem fixed. Play. Give it a play. I heard a rumor of Smokebox working on a TSW3 Big Boy DLC. If true, that's interesting. That would be interesting. If that really is, and that would definitely be really interesting to see. And most likely it'd probably be for Sherman Hill. Yeah, I'd be all down to see that. A classic Sherman Hill timetable with the Big Boy on it, I'd be down. If it's truly a thing, it'll suck as only the route the Big Boy will be on is Sherman Hill, as it's only its stomping grounds. Alright. Amtrak test train. Alright. So let's unlock the doors. Yeah, we'll see how... oh, I need to insert the reverser first. Now I can... oh, there you go. Set the headlights to bright because it's America. Oh, whoa. That is really bright. Holy smokes. Why is it this bright on this route, but then dark on almost every other route? I don't know, beats me, but that seems pretty American. Eh, screw it, I'll put it on reduced. Whoa, that's weird. Okay, whatever. Definitely don't need to turn on the safety systems. Definitely no reason to do that. Let's enable the brake key, and I might as well also turn on AFB. AFB. Still very creepy when the voice says that. Alright, shut the doors. The brake key is unlocked. Let's just say AFB. Oh god, and I have to do this. Do I have to do this in? Yeah, I have to do this in kilometers per hour as well, which makes this even worse. Alright, let's go. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't feel like actually recreating the Amtrak livery because it's literally just the IC1 livery, but with Amtrak branding on it. So like, it's not really anything that's special. Well, this will definitely be interesting. I'm just praying that everything is gonna work according to how I set it up to be. Wait. Oh no, it's on the wrong track. Ah, frick. Yep, that's something I'm gonna have to fix. I think the headlight brightness is a little too much on, because of course we're running. I mean, I guess this will be fixed when this route gets the Train Sim World 3 lighting, because Dovetail had to make it so that Train Sim World 3 trains have to adjust their lighting for these older routes. So I definitely don't think it's supposed to be this bright. Yeah, so definitely the services are already screwed up. But we'll find a way to I'll fix it. You know what, how about I fix it right now so that yeah, let's fix it right now so that I don't have to fix it later. Delta Live, Creators Club, Scenario Planner, Boston Sprinter, IC Demonstration, Edit, and then we want to update Edit Timetable. So we want this. We want the start marker to be Reedville Track 3. And then we wait a second. Oh, that's outbound. Wait a second. Boston's out to Providence. Ah, shoot. Wait, did they really not allow you to use the... Did they really not allow you to use track 1 on Reedville? So if that's the case, then that's really dumb. Southampton Street Yard, South Attleboro, Sharon, Ruggles, Route 120. Wow, you actually can't use... You can't... Okay, that's so lame. Okay, well, I guess what I could do instead is have it start on Hyde Park. That at least will fix the problem. Hyde Park Track 2. And then have it just go to Boston South. Yeah, stop at Ruggles and Boston Back Bay. That should fix the problem. Okay. Do that, and then do 6 cars loaded. Alright. Is there anything else I want to fix on this service? I mean, because, let's see, hang on a second. Because Providence Train 1, that's departing Route 128 at 11:10. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright. That should fix the problem. Alright, we'll try this again. Okay, let's insert the reverser. Unlock the doors. Let's unlock the brake keys. Yeah, that should have fixed that problem. Double check. So let's see. Is this Reedville? No, that's Forest Hills. Here's Reedville. And where is Hyde Park? That is not the right track. Ay, ay, ay. Man, I hate Scenario Planner. I just hate how limited it is. Like, it's honestly sad. Like, Scenario Planner has so much potential to it, but I feel like it just feels so limited. Like, you can't use whatever tracks you want. You can't have trains go wherever they want to go. You just have to use the very few like beginning and end points that they give you, which is pretty dumb, to be honest. Oops, I accidentally unlocked all doors. Yeah, it's pretty lame that I can't even access the tracks on the top of Reedville. And that's probably what track 1 is. Oh well, we'll play this anyways. Alright. Yeah, I definitely will add more services later on. But for now, this is good. Just for a demonstration, of course. Probably can up this up slightly. It's too much. 16 kilometers per hour. I'm also hoping that the trains are facing the right way, because I have a very good feeling they're going to be facing the wrong way. Oh, it looks like they're facing the right way, at least I think. I'm hoping so. I really hope in the future Scenario Planner gets upgrades, because it's honestly getting pretty ridiculous how limited it is. Like I've always had so many interesting ideas for scenarios, but I just feel like I can't do any of them just because Scenario Planner is just so limited. Because I just hate that you can't just slap a train down and literally tell it to go wherever the heck you want, no matter how ridiculous it may sound. Like, I just feel like it makes the gameplay very limiting, and then also without text bubbles. Yeah, without text bubbles, I feel like that it just makes scenarios very hard to be engaging. Like, I subscribe to almost no scenarios, because there's just nothing interesting to me. It's like all you can really do are just like traffic delays, but that's about it. Or just slapping a train on another route like what I'm doing. It's like, it's very hard to get creative with Scenario Planner. And I also really hope in the future we get like a consist editor. Alright. Alright, up to 30. I'm just like completely winging it. I genuinely wonder if the AFB is really set precisely by kilometers per hour, like that, or if that's not accurate, and if it's supposed to be just like all the other trains where it's divided up by 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. Alright, we're now approaching Boston Back Bay. We are not stopping here. Something I wonder is if it would be a practical idea for the Acela to skip Boston Back Bay. Because obviously the Acela skips stops in many other locations. And I forgot to set the headlights. Problem fixed. Ah yes, now I can perfectly see everything. Cause like, I don't know, it feels kind of feels pointless to have the Acela skip Boston Back Bay because the speed limit's only 30 miles per hour through the station. So you wouldn't really save much on travel times, but who knows. Alright, accelerating up to 60. I really like the sounds on the AC one. Waiting to be able to go up to 120. There you go. Okay. Sorry if I completely blinded your eyes, people. Whoa, that was a weird bug. now heading up to line speed. I still find it very interesting how Amtrak went as far as borrowing an IC1 and an X2000 just to trial for new high-speed trains. And they also did the same with the AEM7. Forgot what models they used though. They used like I know they used the Swiss train, and then they also used the Swedish train, which was what led to EMD coming with the design for the AEM7. So it's definitely pretty interesting how Amtrak went to that extent to be able to like conducting for America, especially since like electric trains at the time were just very uncommon. Now at 110. So we will be going up to line speed. Remember when you got that sky glitch on Bremen to Oldenburg? That was weird. I thought we were going to get abducted. Oh yes. I had the glitch happen to me again on Southeastern high speed. So I don't know what's causing it, but it's just very random but funny. Alright, passing Forest Hills. $36 miles to go. Oh yeah, this is also gonna give me a good indication on like the timings for the services because right now I don't think anything is left yet, or nothing's departed, which is kind of a problem. So I probably need to have the services begin to leave sooner. But again, you can only do it based in 5-minute time crunches, which is kind of dumb. It's like I feel like it should still be based on the minute, because then you can like perfectly time like the departures of trains and stuff. So probably could slightly ease this up. There we go. I'll leave it at 119. Borderline 120. And the trains are facing the wrong way. Gosh darn it. Alright, well, 0.8 miles, you can speed up to 130 miles per hour. Should be able to proceed up shortly. 210 kilometers per hour. pretty splendid. Okay, 1.9, we gotta slow down to 125 again. Now passing Canton Junction. Oh shoot, I completely forgot. Back to full power. Oh no, a dead section. I am going to ignore that. Yeah, we're gonna ignore the dead sections on this route because I do not know how to. Because I don't think it's as simple as. I guess. I don't know. I don't know if it's just simply just opening the circuit breaker, or if I need to lower the pantograph, then open the circuit breaker, and then raise the pantograph, and then close it again. I'm not sure. We are now passing Sharon. What did you get on your birthday? I'm trying to remember because it was a few months ago. I got an Apple Watch. I seriously don't remember. What the frick? Because the time of my birthday was also a bit weird because I got COVID right before. So it was kind of weird because I left because I had to quarantine in a hotel because I ended up getting COVID while I was at my university. So I had to quarantine in a hotel, maybe like 10 minutes from campus. And the day I left quarantine, it was on day 11, was my birthday. So I didn't really do much on my actual birthday other than I think I got my Apple Watch. I think I got a couple other gifts. I completely forgot what they were. Ah, shoot. Completely forgot about. I keep forgetting that those two instances we have to slow down to 125. I guess this is good practice because I'm probably gonna end up forgetting them when I drive the Acela on this route. Oh man, 1.5 miles. We get to proceed up to 150. Oh, go up to 130 again. Back up to 210. Come on. There we go. This will definitely be interesting. I'm definitely super hyped to see the Acela. I can't wait to drive this thing at 150 miles an hour. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. .242 apparently. And here we go. Oh boy. My birthday is September 28th. My birthday's on the 9th. So we have pretty close birthdays. And here we are, we're at 150 miles per hour. We're just hauling. Mine is October 22nd, 2003. Okay. So late October. Lovely. We're now on the approach to Attleboro. We're now passing Attleboro. .2 miles, you gotta slow down to 110 miles per hour. So I'm probably gonna start slowing down about a mile from the 110 limit. I'm gonna pull my power back about now. Let's apply the brakes. The brakes are pretty powerful on the AC one. I sound like PTG rail. Oh no. Oh gee. Oh shoot, I'm coming in way too fast. That's a problem. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I should have stayed on train brake 2. actually back up to 125. Right, so set this back to about... Alright, back to full power. 200, that's fine. If PTG Rail faked an American accent, gosh darn it. It's 6 miles to Providence. We're gonna want to start braking just before South Attleboro. So I'm gonna cut the power. We'll start on train brake 1B, and I'll apply more brakes if necessary. Did I watch his HSD one from Cardiff to Paddington? No, I have not. Alright, let's apply more brakes. Okay, we are coming in way too fast. Oops. And there's floating water. Oh, it's the same route just based in 2014 rather than with the modern with overhead. Oh, okay. I see. Let's also bring down AFB. Yeah, so hopefully Dovetail implements Pawtucket Station, because that's definitely the biggest scenery inaccuracy on this route. Still pretty disappointed that they did not implement it. So I'm really hoping they do that when they add the Acela, because that's like a very crucial missing part of this route. It's kind of dumb the speed limit goes up to 70 for like 500 yards and then just goes straight back down to 60. Like, it's almost completely pointless. But this is basically what it would feel like driving on the northeast corridor near to New Haven in an Acela, going 60 miles per hour for the entire run. And a lot of speed changes. Alright, got 1 mile till a 60 limit. Yeah, So clearly the problem is definitely not access, it's just the signaling is off, because getting all these random yellow signals that have absolutely no meaning towards them. Alright, let's slow down to 60. Alright. Alright, we'll now begin applying the brakes to slow down to 30. Alright, we're now down to 30, and we are now approaching Providence. Oh man, I'm just completely blinding everyone inside the station. They are being blinded by the lights. And I am not going to sing that song or I'm going to get copyrighted. Here we are. Well, that was an interesting run. Yeah, this part of Providence is interesting. It goes over like this tiny river. Alright, well, we made it. Made it to Providence. Not as bad as that HST stuck Hornet slough. Yeah. Well, it is now midnight for me. So I think I am gonna go off to bed now. I am definitely very much tired, and I definitely need to get some sleep. So that will be it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed. Just want to say again that I am super hyped to see the Acela come to Train Sim World 3. We still have no information on when it will be released, but I'm sure at the beginning of 2023 we'll see a lot of teasers or a lot more work in progress screenshots, and yeah, so I'm very excited for its release. I will make sure to get it as soon as possible. And yeah, so yeah, that was a pretty fun stream. Hope you all enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, consider liking the stream and subscribing for more Train Sim World content. And I will see you all later. This is Crazy Dot. This is Crazy. Oh God, this is Crazy Dash